This video is going to get me in a lot of trouble, but someone had to do it. Someone had to sacrifice themselves to make this video. And so I offer myself as tribute. I'll be the one to do this video. But considering the nature of this video, there needs to be a few disclaimers. The first disclaimer is that I will be talking about the content of these channels, not the people who run the channels, not the character of the people who run the channels, not what I might know about these people behind the scenes. No, I'm going to be talking only about the content that these channels put out. The second thing is this is going to be highly opinion based. This is going to be based on what I like and what I don't like, and what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy, and where I am right now in my life. And so it's going to be extremely subjective. It might be different for you based on what you find valuable and where you are in your life and your approach to theology. You might have a different tier list. The third disclaimer I want to give is these are completely randomized. I didn't really place these anywhere except I put myself here at the end because I thought that would make more sense. Other than that, this is completely random, off the cuff, no script, no outline. I'm just going to give my raw thoughts as I go. Okay, gotta be with me. Okay, so first we have Apostolic Orthodoxy. Apostolic Orthodoxy is an Oriental Orthodox channel. And of course, my channel is an Oriental Orthodox channel. And so that means I'm going to agree with Apostolic Orthodoxy much more than I'll agree with most of these channels. I also like that Apostolic Orthodoxy makes videos that are longer and comprehensive. And so they take the much needed time to demonstrate the theology with the nuance that is required to teach it. I also like how educational it is. I'm a big fan of really dense theological content. I'm a fan of that. That's really logical and syllogism based and has proper citations, and Apostolic Orthodoxy checks all those boxes. I also think the person who runs the channel, I think their personality shines through their videos, which I think makes the videos have a greater appeal. And for that reason, I'm going to take Apostolic Orthodoxy, and this goes straight into the S tier. Now, this one might be a little bit more controversial. Coptic Orthodox Answers. Coptic Orthodox Answers is at its best when it's pastoral, and it answers questions. I mean, it's literally called Coptic Orthodox Answers. It answers questions about Orthodoxy, and I think it's focused a lot more on laymen. It historically has not been really focused on deep delving into the nuances of theology. It's been more focused on layman questions and giving answers for them. It's a bit more pastoral. I really like that about this channel. I think lately it started to follow trends a little bit more. It started to try to make content that appeals to a broader audience, which I'm not a huge fan of, because I think content is best when it's made for yourself. And I think it suffers a little bit when it's made to appeal to a specific audience or a specific trend in the zeitgeist. Also, there's a small disagreement I have with something that was said on this channel. This channel once posited that the mental health industry is a really valid industry, and that the mental health industry is something that is promoted on this channel. Whereas I have a bit of a different perspective on that. I think that a lot of the approaches in modern mental health tend to neglect the fact that God even exists. They tend to approach humans in a really mechanical way, where humans are just matter and mind, and it neglects that some issues may be spiritual issues. Not all issues are going to be exclusively spiritual, but I think at their root, all human issues are spiritual, even if you have like a cold. I think that at its root, since we are at our root spiritual beings, all our issues are going to be at their root spiritual. And I think the mental health industry kind of neglects that. And for that reason, I mean, lastly, the thing about this channel as well is, me personally, I'm a lot more into the really dense and thick theology. I'm not as much interested in the layman questions, just because of where I am in my life right now. So for that reason, this is a great channel. Obviously, it's an Oriental Orthodox channel. I'm going to put it in A. David Erhan. I haven't watched this channel very much. I actually need a tier here called Don't Watch Enough. But I have seen a little bit of content from this channel. This channel, the way I discovered this channel was because this channel was putting out long series trying to debunk Oriental Orthodoxy, which were filled with inaccuracies and erroneous arguments. I haven't really watched much of that channel outside of those videos that were done on Oriental Orthodoxy. But based on those videos alone and how erroneous they were and boring, really, as well, I would place this channel in C tier. Dr. Taylor Marshall. I don't watch this channel much. I know it's a very traditional Catholic channel. I like the fact that it's traditional. I find traditional Catholicism to be much more agreeable than liberal Catholicism. So for that reason, I will put Dr. Taylor Marshall in B tier. This is Cliff. I don't even know his last name. That's because I don't watch this channel much. I know he was recently in the zeitgeist with the Orthodox because he had that one debate with that Ethiopian Orthodox Harvard student, but I really don't watch him. I didn't even watch that debate. So I'm going to put this in Don't Watch Enough. Jeem. I love the Jeem channel. I love this channel. The reason why I love this channel is the person who makes the content for this channel is around my age and grew up in a very similar culture. And so he approaches topics in much in the same way that I would approach a topic. Additionally, this channel introduced me to the best history book of all time called The Cave in the Light by, I think his name was Arthur Herman. This was the best history book I have ever read. One of the best books I've read, period. And I was introduced to that book by this channel, the Jeem channel. Also, the Jeem channel, it is really authentic. You can really tell when a channel approaches a topic authentically or when they're just approaching it because it's a trend or because they think it's what the people want to see. I think this channel approaches topics based on what the content creator wants to make. He makes content for himself, and I think that's the best way, the most genuine way to make content. And for that reason, I'm going to put Jeem in S tier. I also think the Jeem channel is really nuanced and it approaches things from a more philosophical lens, and the channel talks a lot about history, and I love history. The channel talks a lot about classical Greek philosophy, Plato, Aristotle. I love those topics. Jeem is a definite S tier for me. I'd even put it here just because of how much I resonate with the approach and the authenticity of this channel. Now, Orthodox Meme Squad, this is obviously an Eastern Orthodox channel, but it doesn't really focus on Eastern Orthodox apologetics. I think this channel, it's really kind of the top of the funnel. It will grab in the most people, but at the expense of grabbing the most people, it's not going to have the most depth. It's going to be the most shallow. But it does really serve the purpose of grabbing the most people and serving the layman and even bringing people into ancient Christianity, even though it's not Oriental Orthodoxy. It may lead people into that path. I think it's a good channel. I don't watch it much anymore, but I would put this channel in A tier. Christian Prince. Now, the problem with this channel is this channel focuses so much on arguing against Islam versus making content about Christianity. I do think that's a bit of a problem. I think it's important as Orthodox Christians for us to defend our faith. So if someone comes and attacks our faith, it is our obligation to give a defense for that. But that's very different than constantly going out of our way and attacking other religions all of the time. And the approach that this channel takes seems to be rather dramatic. It's always formatted as this recent drama going on or this new thing in the news is happening. I'm not a huge fan of this channel. This channel is going to go in C tier. Father Moses. This is an Eastern Orthodox channel. Now, I think there's some strengths and some weaknesses of this channel. The biggest strength of this channel, I think, is that it does a good job of appealing to the modern Protestant or the modern secular person, and he approaches topics that a lot of people really resonate with and are thinking about in their day-to-day lives. But I think that's also simultaneously the weakness of the channel. It is a bit more placating. It is a bit more focused on going to where the people are. And this is a nuanced conversation, actually, because you do want to meet the people where they're at, but you don't want to go so far that it changes from what and where you're coming from. And I think this channel kind of toes that line where he does so well at trying to reach a larger audience, but that might come at the expense of his tradition. And so for that reason, I would put this channel in B tier. Father Spyridon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I like this channel because it's really reflective. It doesn't really focus on polemics or apologetics. It's a lot more about the spiritual life, and about a third of the videos on this channel are kind of like that too. I try to approach things from the perspective of my spiritual life and my struggles in my spiritual life, and trying to actually build a relationship with God. And I think that's important in the online space. A lot of the content is abstract and intellectual and theoretical, or worse, it's drama baiting and click farming. This channel focuses a lot more on the spiritual life, which I think is a breath of fresh air in the space. Of course, it's an Eastern Oriental Orthodox channel, but you don't really notice that when you're listening to the videos. He really does focus a lot on mere Christianity and the struggles a Christian might face in their spiritual life. I like this channel. I will put this channel, it's hard, really. It's either going to be high A or low C, low S. I'd put it in low S. I do like this channel. Now, Redeemed Zoomer. I learned a lot more about this channel recently than I knew before. I recently just put out a video on evolution and why evolution is incompatible with Christianity. To my surprise, one of the comments told me that Redeemed Zoomer, this channel does promote evolution. The things that I really do like about this channel is I think the content creator is as objective as he can be. He tries to approach things from a non-biased angle, tries to be as unopinionated as he can. I also think that the approach his channel has is very humble. This channel knows what it's good at, and it tries to stay within that circle, and it knows what it's bad at, and it tries not to engage with what it's bad at, which you can really respect. I would put this channel in A tier. Dyer. Dyer is a hard one because the content on this channel 12 years ago, 13 years ago, all the way up to about 6 years ago, I think was phenomenal when it focused on classical Greek philosophy and theology and the church fathers, and everything was a bit more of a lecture than it was a Q&A or a live stream with a chat. I think that's when this channel really shined. I think it's kind of past its heyday. I think the more recent content that's a bit more drama farming, or that's a bit more focused on drama and entertainment, it's become more of an entertainment channel over time and less of a really scholarly channel over time, which is not what I appreciate. So if you were to ask me this about its content 12, 11, 10, 9 years ago, the old content, I would have put it here for sure. If you were to ask me about the modern content, I'd put it down here. So we're going to go somewhere in the middle, and we're going to put this channel in A tier. I would put it here. Now we have the Lion's Den channel with Daniel Kakish. This is a great channel because it's an Oriental Orthodox channel. It has the fullness of the truth, just like Apostolic Orthodoxy. Now this channel, it does have a little bit of a Syriac bent. I'm a Copt, and I don't know much about the Syriac tradition, to be honest. So some of the things are lost on me. But other than that, I of course appreciate that he has the fullness of the truth and he's presenting and defending the fullness of the truth. I think it's rather reasonable. I'm going to put this channel in A tier. Now we have the Living Orthodox channel with Father Michael. This is an Eastern Orthodox channel. This channel used to be a bit more polemical against the Oriental Orthodox, and he did a really polemical video that had a lot of inaccuracies, and it called the Oriental Orthodox Monophysites. But it seems like he's kind of learned that his channel does best when it focuses on a more pastoral approach, and when it focuses more on being a shepherd than an apologist or someone who's polemical. And so if it was only based on that one video he did about Oriental Orthodoxy, I would have put it here. But since it has a broader scope, and since he's kind of shied away from polemics, because I think he realized that's outside of his circle of competence, and it's not a topic he really knows a lot about to talk about. For that reason, I would put Living Orthodoxy in B tier. Kyle, I don't watch a lot of Kyle. Kyle, I know, is a newer convert to Orthodoxy. He, of course, did that one video that I debunked where he tried to debunk Oriental Orthodoxy. I think this channel is really zealous. It has that zealousy that comes with being a new convert, where new converts tend to be really enthusiastic about Orthodoxy. And over time, what happens, of course, is the honeymoon phase kind of ends and you settle into a more mature faith. And I think that's kind of where this channel is headed right now. I think it's heading towards that mature faith. I would, again, if I were to rank it solely on that one video, I would put it in C tier. But this channel extends beyond that. I would put it in B tier. Michael Lofton at Reason and Theology. I don't really watch this channel much. From what I understand about it, this channel takes a more liberal approach to Catholicism. And so I don't think I've watched enough. I have not watched enough of Reason and Theology to really rank it. I'm going to put it in don't watch enough. Shamounian. This channel is a bit of a mixed bag for me. The person who runs this channel approaches the channel in a way that has a lot of exegesis, and there's a lot of scripture and excerpts from the Bible in this channel, which I really appreciate. And this channel has videos that are reminiscent a lot of Bible studies, and I really like those videos. Now, the same way that I mentioned with Christian Prince, that this is too focused on attacking what you're not versus defending what you are, I think this channel kind of skews in that direction as well. I also think lately it's kind of been involved in a lot of unnecessary dramas, which might yield a lot of clicks, but might not be the best for the viewer's spiritual life, especially since some of these dramas were happening during Pascha. This channel, this is a tough one. I would put this channel probably in B tier. If it was only focused on attacking Islam and that's it, I would put it in C tier. But this channel does also have a focus on exegesis and on really digging through the Bible. For that reason, I'm going to put it in B tier. Jonathan Pageau, this channel approaches Christianity from a really allegorical lens and an allegorical perspective. I much prefer the more Alexandrian style of theology, the more Aristotelian approach that's a bit more focused on syllogisms and logic than the more artsy-fartsy allegory. And that's no slight against allegory. I think allegory has its place in Christianity, and some people are so inclined. But I really don't watch it enough for that reason, so I'm going to put it in don't watch enough. Church of the Eternal Logos. I don't watch this one enough. I know this individual has a lot of content on their channel about Far Eastern mysticism and psychedelics and these sorts of things, and I had some interest in those things when I was younger, but I haven't really watched it enough to really give it a rating, so I'm going to put it in don't watch enough. Seraphim Hamilton, also don't watch enough. Orthodox Shahada. Orthodox Shahada is very similar to Christian Prince in that it has very inflammatory, very dramatic videos and titles that are so focused on anti-Islam and not focused enough on pro-Christianity. I keep hammering that in. It's so important that we fight for what we love instead of fighting against what we hate. It's a subtle, minute difference, but it's an important difference. This channel, of course, has also done some really silly videos attempting miserably to debunk Oriental Orthodoxy. I'm not a fan of this channel. I'm going to put this in C tier. And it also engages in a lot of drama. Now, rating yourself is really cringe, so we're not going to do that. We're going to leave it here. And that was my tier list. I am probably going to get canceled this week, so it was nice knowing you. And in case I don't, we'll see you in the next one.